My name is Kirsten Steadman. I'm author of Snowflake Obsidian, Memoir of a Cutter. The first time I cut, I was 19 years old, and it was at a time where I was experiencing a lot of depression and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I cut as a way to deal with these emotions, and it was very spontaneous and very impulsive. It wasn't something that I had planned on doing or had heard about doing. It was very instinctual, and when I did it, I got a release and I felt in control, and it became a way for me to cope with the depression I was feeling. For me, it was on my legs, and I used scissors because that was what was in close proximity. Again, it was a very impulsive thing, and that was what was available. I've heard of people cutting anywhere on their body, and not even necessarily cutting. You can self-injure in a lot of different ways, so anything goes. There is no typical self-injure. Again, it's usually a byproduct of something else that they're dealing with. It could be a mental illness or just general life stressors, and a lot of times it's pointed out that they have a history of abuse, but that's not always the case. I think victim is really a state of mind. I think everybody's encountered abuse to some degree, whether it's being teased or bullied at school or something more severe. And for me, it really helped in my recovery to not see myself as a victim anymore. So I don't really consider myself a victim of abuse. I definitely think therapy is important, and because it is an addiction, and assistance with that is always going to be very important. And for me, I used a non-traditional therapy, which was rapid eye therapy, but it was in conjunction with a skills group. And most therapy that's very effective for people who self-injure is therapy that's going to be focused on teaching them new coping skills and how to tolerate stress, self-soothe, and just learn more about their emotions and how to deal with them. Well, it's funny because it doesn't really feel like I'm coping. When I began learning new skills, it was very much, these are my coping mechanisms. Now it's just what I naturally do. So if I'm having a bad day, I'm more in tune with what I'm feeling. I can identify my emotions. I can identify where they're coming from. I take accountability for them, and then I do things that are going to be relaxing. I take a hot bath, I go for a walk, I make sure that I save some time for me. My advice to parents who think their child is cutting would be to create an open dialogue where they feel comfortable coming to you and talking about what's bothering them, and then respond always in a place of compassion. Because if they are cutting, they're likely feeling a lot of self-shame and a lot of self-hatred, and if they feel any judgment coming from the parent, that ultimately is going to shut them down and reinforce the behavior.